The Detroit Red Wings are soft. If that's really your number one problem, and that's what they're talking about in practice for the next couple days, then take a look at Calgary. They've had a rough start to the season. Nazem Kadri's name has been in the rumor mill. Rasmus Andersson's name continues to be in the rumor mill. Those two players contain the answer to pretty much every toughness problem that you have right now on the team. But Calgary holds all the cards. They don't have to do anything. So if you're serious, you better open up your wallet and see exactly what it is the Flames want. This is the 7-Minute Wings. Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura. Since 2019, I've been a writer, first over at Hockey Buzz and now for Hockey Hot Stove. Head over to hockeyhotstove.com. Check out my newest write-up. Check out news on the other 32 teams with some fantastic insights. So the Detroit Red Wings are acknowledging that there is a grit problem in the locker room. The practices right now are focused on intensity. The players look exhausted after Tuesday's practice. It looks like that's not going to slow down at all. You have a problem with this team that is going to need an injection of something besides the rookies at this point. The Calgary Flames, they've had a tough start to the season. One of the names we'd heard a couple weeks ago was Nazem Kadri. In having turned down some sort of deal to go to Carolina, he's got them on his no-trade list. Kadri, he is everything Detroit is lacking as a centerman. He's gritty. He'll punish you. He's the guy that if you need someone on the ice disrupting things in front of the net, causing problems so that someone else can get a look, that's what Kadri can do. He's 35. You've got another few seasons at $7 million. Who knows what they'd be asking, because Kadri's a player that a contending team, if they could get that piece in, he could really move the needle. So he's not going to come cheap. And of course, Rasmus Andersson. That scenario has plagued Calgary for the past couple years, where it looks like they're going to move him. They don't move him. And now he's on an expiring deal. So if he's not going to re-sign, they've got to get something for him. But again, like Kadri, even more so for Andersson, this is a gritty, right shot defender that a championship team could really move the needle with. So people will be opening their wallets, and Calgary doesn't need draft picks right now. They have 2 first-round picks next season. The only pick they're missing next year is a 7th rounder. So what is Detroit going to do? Those 2 players, they tick so many boxes for this Red Wings team. But again, what are you going to give the Flames that's going to make them let go of something that the entire league would want to get in on? Detroit's strongest assets are in their pipeline. If Calgary's going to say, okay, we'll step back and look more at a rebuild, they're going to want your top assets. Their first ask would probably be Sandin-Pellikka, Danielson. Obviously, those are off the table. If they're looking at someone who's right there ready to make the step to the NHL, I have to look at Amadeus Lombardi. I've been so frustrated with Detroit's lack of offering to Lombardi to give him a chance to come up and perform for the club. Last year he was injured. He was also the only point-per-game player on the Griffins squad, and he fell just short. He's 3 points short of being a point per game in his 43 games of service last season. But Lombardi, he is intense. He skates hard. He gets to the net. And he'll make some mistakes for sure, but the way he moves, one of his assists this season, it was unbelievable, the type of plays that Lombardi can just come up with. And if Detroit's not using him, and they're not finding a way to make that work or underutilizing him, he could do a lot for another team. So I have to think if they're serious about making this work, they would take a look at Lombardi. Tuomisto, Wallinder, those are your top guys in Grand Rapids, but they don't seem to be in love with Tuomisto's skating still. It's still an issue. So is that something they consider? Shai Boyum is the top defensive prospect, and he's been injured. When he started camp, it looked like he had a legitimate shot to make Detroit in that third pairing role. He's injured to the point where we've got no updates at this point. So does that mean Wallander's available? Tuomisto's available? But you're going to have to do more than that. What do you have to give the Calgary Flames to part with the exact piece, the exact person that you need to make this team better? Because if you get Nazem Kadri in and put him between Kane and DeBrincat, you've changed that line and you've changed the team. You bring in Andersson, you put him, and heck, Overload, put him and Seider together on a penalty kill. But you put him with Edvinsson, you put him with Sandin-Pellikka, whoever you put Andersson with, he is going to add the element this team is missing. Seider can play a physical game. You need another one. You get those two players out of Calgary, and this season looks completely different, in my opinion. But again, can you afford it? What are the Flames going to ask? Because they hold all the cards right now, and they can just write their blank check. So let me know what you think in the comments. Would you go after these guys if they're really available, if the market's really going to allow them? And what do you give up? Because it's going to cost you something. But if Detroit doesn't find a way to add some intensity and grit, this slide could get a lot worse. All right, thanks for tuning in.